besties. So yes, I'm back again with another video. So I decided to insert a before clip. So yeah, we're doing some acrylic toes this time, and this is me taking the prior acrylic off of the toes. I'm working at a very low speed and very gentle, and this is also one of my more senior 5-in-1 bits from Hot Tips Beauty. That way I can make sure that I get all the product off without damaging the client's toes. So I'm not really fond of acrylic toes. I will do them, but acrylic does make your toes weaker on the contingency that you don't, do a proper set or do proper removal. So when you're doing toes, you have to be extra careful. Now, my client here has naturally dark toes. There's nothing wrong with her or anything like that. We're just doing a simple redesign on her toes. So the color that she had on there was from Not Polish. I forgot the name of the color, but I'll list it down in the description box below what color this was before. I did really like that color, and purple is one of her favorite colors, but this time she decided to do yellow toes. So the color that I'm going to add on her nails now, being that she wanted yellow, but I didn't have the yellow that she wanted except for in gel polish. So the acrylic that I'm going to put on her toes is called Natural from Not Polish. I will definitely link that down below. I actually made my own version of it, but you can get it already made from any company, but I use Not Polish. So yeah, stick around and I'm going to give y'all step-by-step instructions on how to do acrylic toes. I'm going to make another video on how to just fill them in, but this was a redesign. And y'all, let me tell y'all, it is so hard to stay in focus when it comes to doing toes, because this is my first time I've ever recorded actually doing toes, and it's so hard to stay in frame, y'all. So please forgive me. Oh, and if I sound like somebody's husband right now, it's because I have very bad allergies and the season is changing where I'm at right now in Virginia. So please don't come for me and talk about oh, you sound nasally. Yes, I sound nasally. No, I don't have COVID. Yes, I have really bad allergies. So back up off me, please.
Hey, feeling young, but they treat me like the OG. And they want the T on me, I swear these bitches nosy. Till they put some money on my head, I guess we gon' see. I won't put no money on it, said my niggas owe me. I gotta be single for a while, you can't control me. Uno, those traits and the rates, they can't hold me. And I show my face in the case, so you know it's me. Imitation is a flattery, it's just annoying me. And I'm too about it. And the dirt that they do on my name turn to soil, and I grew about it. Time for y'all to figure out what y'all gon' do about it. Big wheels keep rolling, rolling. Outside, 29, G5, Seaside. I've been losing friends and finding peace. But honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. If I ever heard one, and I'm still here outside. Front line, south side. I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. Look, don't invite me over if you're throwing another pretty party. Looking back, it's hard to tell you where I started. I don't know who love me, but I know that it ain't everybody. I can never love her, she a busybody. Baby, if you want me, can't be turning up with everybody. Nah, can't be fucking on this anybody. Yeah, I got feelings for you, that's the thing about it. Yeah, you know that it's something when I sing about it.
Boy, I'm sick of worrying, it's just a worry, and I'd rather bury them. I'm talking fake friends and skeletons. Early morning shoulder rubs, the lawyer signed and celebrate. I'm never settling, and the shit get darker than my melanin. At the crib all by myself, the shit be giving in. Scrolling through my call like my emojis, I'm saving them. Tomorrow, that's the be true, my hoes, but I favorite them. That butterfly emoji on me, nothing, all my babies done. Uncle demon face won't push away, you got the K on them. Operator said I'm watching niggas break down. They said a couple bitches do like I'm from Cape Town. Know they position, you know I so with the face down. I'm never content to mill up in a kid frequent. I'm making a space to me, just says I'm dropping the top, not tip of the wind. I'm dropping the top, cause bro trying to spin. She dropping the top, she back again.
Alright, so now we about to get into it. So I am removing all the calcium and all of the buildup that is around her cuticle area. This bit is from Sting Beauty, but you can also get it from Amazon. It is a micro diamond bit. It's specifically for cuticles, and as you see, she has a lot of calcium and cuticle buildup on the nail plate, and you want to make sure you get that off, because if you don't, then it's going to start lifting like you would a regular acrylic set, and you do not want anything lifting on the toes, because I mean, I think everybody takes a shower or a bath every day, and if you get water in there, you can potentially harm your client by not sealing the cuticles and not placing the acrylic down correct. So like I said before, you want to make sure that you take extra love and extra steps when doing the acrylic toe prep, because the last thing you want to do is have somebody with a fungus when you go to do like maybe a redesign or take it off completely. So definitely be careful with that. So I'm taking my time with each one of these, and I know you see that sander band down there, that's next. So the same steps that you do for acrylic, basically you do for your toes, but it's a much smaller canvas, so you have to be extra careful not to flood the cuticle, and definitely seal them up very well, because if you don't and they come back with some green toes, yes boo, it is your fault. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get into removing the shine from the natural nail and smoothing out any imperfections that may be present. So I'm going to take this sanding band at a very low speed, just like you would on the natural nail, because essentially this is a natural nail, and go over and remove all of the shine from the natural nail. That is literally all you use the sanding band for on a natural nail, is to remove the shine and just smooth out any lumps or bumps that you may have on the nail. So that is this step. So when it comes to doing the application, which is next, you want to remove all the dust. I use alcohol. I use 70% isopropyl alcohol to remove dust and debris from the nail, because just like any other acrylic set, if you don't remove that dust and debris, and she has a lot of it, you're going to end up, the nails are going to end up lifting. So when you apply the acrylic to toes, you want to make sure your beads are actually drier. That actually avoids you flooding the cuticle and, obtaining that perfect square look like everybody wants. So make sure that your beads are just a tad bit drier, like you see here, when it comes to applying the acrylic on the toes, because it's better and you're able to shape the acrylic out a little bit more for these small canvases than you would on an actual nail. So again, make sure the beads are a little drier. And I also use like a little tool to help me cut the acrylic at the end, because I found that when you use your acrylic brush, it goes under the nail, and I don't like that because toes are short. And so taking a bit under the nail, you're actually touching the client's skin. So that's why I use like the other end of a cuticle pusher to remove it, and you can see it a little bit better in this clip right here. So I'll take that end of the cuticle pusher that's kind of like, I don't even know what shape to call that, but you'll see me do it, and that helps for the acrylic not to get under the toes. Alright, so here you're going to see me use that tool that I was talking about. I use that end to kind of cut it off. You can use anything you want. You can use a cuticle pusher. You can use an X-Acto knife. I just do this. That way there's nothing under the toes like you see here. So I can go under the toes and make sure that there is no acrylic. That way I can just go ahead and get the shaping and seal her toes up, and then that's it. Boom, bow.
Time for y'all to figure out what y'all gonna do about it. Big wheels keep rolling. outside. I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. Look, don't invite me over if you're throwing another pretty party. Looking back, it's hard to tell you where I started. I don't know who love me, but I know that it ain't everybody. I can never love her, she a busybody. Baby, if you want me, can't be turning up with everybody. Nah, can't be fucking on this anybody. Yeah, I got feelings for you, that's the thing about it. Yeah, you know that it's over when I sing about it.
Boy, I'm sick of worrying. It's just a worrying. I'd rather bury them. I'm talking fake friends and skeletons. Early morning shoulder rubs, the lawyer signed and celebrate. I'm never settling, and the shit get darker than my melanin. At the crib all by myself, the shit be giving in. Scrolling through my call like my emojis, I'm saving them. Tomorrow, that's the beat, true my oldest, but I favorite them. That butterfly emoji on me down, and all my famous done. Purple demon face when push away, you got the K on them. Operator said I'm watching niggas.
Okay, on her big toe, you see that there is some leftover calcium and cuticle. I do remove that as well. It's not in my way right now, but I do move that prior to the end of the service. And you can see it right there. I do remove that. I just didn't do it right then, but I'm also not flooding the cuticle. Like I said before, make sure your beads are drier. That way you can still mold them, but you can also just, you know, mold the acrylic into the shape of the nails that you actually want. That saves time on filing, and it also gives you that crisp square look that everybody wants. I love this square look. I promise you I do. I love it. 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 I can't even say it enough. I love that look. So even if you don't have bad toes, I still love that look. I don't necessarily have to put acrylic on my toes, but if the person wants it, I also do Gel X toes, so I'll probably do a video for that too. So yeah, I do remove that part. So I don't want y'all coming in the comments talk about something I didn't remove it. I don't have to remove it right then and there because I'm not even anywhere near it. So when I go to smooth the acrylic out, sealing the cuticles, I'll explain to you what bit it is, but you know, stick around for it. Okay, so we are at the end right here. Well, close to the end. I ain't gonna say it's the end. So I'm going in with my 80 grit file and I am shaping up the toe shape, giving it that crispy square look that we all desire for the summer. And I'm still going to do it in the winter too, because foot care is all year round. I don't know who told y'all that, you know, you have to stop doing your toes in the wintertime. Baby, I do it all year round, because when you're in the bed with somebody, you do not want to rip their sheets off because your feet is crusty and ashy. So with that being said, just make sure that you're doing feet care all year round, because you still want to have your toes looking good for the summertime, boo. Like, no, the toes still get sucked on in the winter. So keep it up. Keep up your toe health. Alright, so here I am going in with that cone cuticle sealer bit. I got this from Erica's. It was a pretty penny, but I felt like it was needed. And yeah, so if you have trouble with your cuticle area, I highly recommend this bit. So you can see me going around the cuticles. It's not taking off a lot of product, but it's actually making sure that the cuticles are sealed and the product that you placed on the nail looks seamless. Like, these could literally be mistaken for her actual toes. Like, she don't have nothing on her toes. So again, I highly recommend this bit. If you want the link to this bit, please leave a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to share this with you, because it has been a staple in my regimen. I don't typically flood the cuticle, but I still want the cuticles flush like they should be. Your cuticle area should be super thin, like paper thin. That way when it grows out, the only thing you're doing is reshaping and, you know, applying the product. So like I said, it's very hard to stay in focus and in frame with doing these acrylic toes. So just keep that in mind.
Feelings for you, that's the thing about about it. Yeah, you know that it's something when I sing about it.
Boy, sick, I'm sick of worrying. It's just a worrying. I'd rather bury them. I'm talking fake friends and skeletons. Early morning shoulder rubs, the lawyer signed and celebrate. I'm never settling, and the shit get darker than my melanin. At the crib all by myself, the shit be giving in. Scrolling through my call like my emojis, I'm saving them the part as the beat.
So I'm going in again at maybe 4 RPMs to smooth out the nails, getting it ready for the gel polish application. So I don't use it any on high speed. I'm just literally going over it ever so lightly to make sure that there is no bumps, dips, ridges, or anything when I go to apply my gel polish, because that is the one thing that I hate about gel polish. It will definitely expose all your imperfections. So when you thought the nail was smooth, think again. So again, I take this extra precautionary measure to make sure that whatever it is that I'm getting ready to put over this, whether it be top coat, matte coat, gel paint, whatever, everything is smooth and I don't have to worry about, any lumps or bumps or imperfections.
Honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. If I ever heard one, and I'm still here outside. Front line, south side. I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. Look, don't invite me over if you throw another pretty party. Looking back, it's hard to tell you where I started. I don't know who love me, but I know that it ain't everybody. I can never love her, she a busybody. Baby, if you want me, can't be turning up with everybody. Nah, can't be fucking on this anybody. Yeah, I got feelings for you, that's the thing about it. Yeah, you know that it's something when I sing about it.
Boy, sick, I'm sick of worrying. It's just a worrying. I'd rather bury them. I'm talking fake friends and skeletons. Early morning shoulder rubs, the lawyer signed and celebrate. I'm never settling, and the shit get darker than my melanin. At the crib all by myself, the shit be giving in. Scrolling through my call like my emojis, I'm saving them.
So clean off the toes, add the gel polish, and bada boom, bada bing, you are done. Here is the final product of what I created. Yes, I enjoyed you all, so please come to my next video. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Peace.
She back again.